Hi everyone! Thank you for coming and taking a look at my poster today, where we're going to be talking about the design process of a wearable health monitoring system. So we've reached this new wave of medical technology where we're now able to take certain measurements of patient health completely non-invasively using wearable technology. I wanted to use this technology to help combat a problem we're seeing here in South Dakota as well as throughout the Midwest. And that is, due to South Dakota and the Midwest as a whole's large rural population, many of our citizens are required to drive multiple hours to reach the nearest healthcare facility. And in this case of chronically ill patients, if they're having to make that drive multiple times a month or multiple times a week, that's not a viable method of maintaining the health of our rural communities. So I wanted to come up with a way for our rural citizens to be able to get this regular checkup from the comfort of their own home. So I designed a device that is able to take a comprehensive measurement of patient health quickly and easily just by simply sliding on a wearable arm cuff. So looking at the bottom left portion of the poster, you can see in the design objectives, I wanted to measure multiple parameters of health, including body temperature, blood pressure, heart rate, and blood oxygen levels. And I wanted to incorporate some emergency functionality in it as well, including the CPR metronome and the body positioning and acceleration data, which will be used to detect falls of the user. I also wanted to ensure that the device was easy to use in the case of limited mobility users, or if patients are living alone and need to put it on themselves, and I wanted to maintain a low cost for the user as well. So looking at the hardware side, if you look in the design block of the poster, the design is split up into 3 or 4 parts depending on how you look at it. Part 1 being in the top left portion of figure 1, you can see that's the cuff, the sleeve itself that's going to be on the user. And it's simply a traditional blood pressure cuff with an attached part of the sleeve that contains the accelerometer, the temperature sensor, and the heart rate and blood oxygen level sensor. That's then connected to the actual pressure sensor and pump of the blood pressure monitor, and all of that sensor data is being sent from the microcontroller via Bluetooth to an Android-specific device. You can see the device in use in figure 2 connected to my personal smartphone. But looking at it from a software perspective, you can see that the software is simply running in a loop consistently. So it's taking a measurement every between 1 and 5 seconds, depending on the measurement, and then blood pressure is measured every 3.5 minutes per the National Institute of Health guidelines of blood pressure monitoring. And that software data, the data that's being collected is then being transported to that interface, the Android application I talked about a little bit ago, which was made using MIT App Inventor and is Android specific but can also be connected to computers. And it has that built-in CPR metronome where you simply press a button and it plays a consistent 100 beats per minute, which is used to negate the anxieties of performing CPR in an emergency situation. Comparing this device to current technologies on the market, this device produces a decently comprehensive snapshot of patient health. It measures many of the same things that the multiple hundreds of dollar devices are able to measure these days, and it maintains a low cost. In its current state, the device would only cost roughly $100 to the user, and it's doing exactly what we set out for. It's able to take all of these measurements that we set out in the design objectives, and it's able to transport them and translate them onto this Bluetooth application. It has the emergency functionality, and it's easy to apply, and it maintains that low price point of $100 or so. So this is extremely promising for the future of a device like this, and I think this device itself is especially relevant now, considering how rare and how important of a resource hospital bed space is today. So thank you guys for taking a look at this poster. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, which I can connect to this poster as well. And thank you again for taking a look.